What's going on, YouTube? It's Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's staying safe. Hope everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I need to say up front. As you have seen the title of this video, I'm going to do things a little different today. I'm just going to do a quick recap of my previous video, and then I'm going to get into the main topic. But let me say this as you see the title of this video. As I'm sitting back and I'm understanding, I'm 26, and everybody is built differently. What I mean by that is everybody has a story. Everybody goes through different things in life. The biggest thing, what I take from, no matter what I'm going through, I'm always looking to find the problem. I'm always trying to seek the help that I can get. Unfortunately, let's just call it what it is. You're going to have family, friends that you may not be comfortable opening up to about your problems or what you're going through in life. I can tell you right now, I'm the first one to tell you that there are friends that I don't trust. Same goes with family. I don't trust. Because I think we live in this, we all live in this clouded judgment where we think, well, you're an adult, or you should be able to suck it up, So, okay, you had a bad day or you're going through this. Oh, you can pick yourself up. You'll be all right. You don't understand until you really experience or understand what the person's going through. When I look at Naomi Osaka, other athletes, it's not just athletes. It's everyday people. Everyone has gone through something. I don't care how much of a tough act you want to put on. It does not matter. And what she did today, this is the reason why we need to have a conversation on mental health when it comes to everybody, not just athletes, but everybody. But I want to get into a quick recap of my previous video. So in the last video, I said that the Wizards were going to get swept. And last night they came out very energetic. Scott Brooks made the adjustments. I hope Joel Embiid is okay. I don't think in my opinion, I don't think he'll play game 5. Ben Simmons, this is what we're expecting Ben Simmons to be the second best player on the court when when he's not on the court. We're not saying he needs to be shooting the ball like Steph Curry, but if he develops a jump shot, he opens up the floodgates. I mean, okay, he can do different things he can dish the ball off. He can be an athletic defender, a tremendous rebounder. That's great. But at the end of the day, where's the jump shot? Because they're going the same thing like they did Shaquille O'Neal back in the day with the Hacker Shaq, Dwight Howard, Hacker Howard. And that's a weakness that I think the Wizards found. And let's see what happens in game 5. But I was surprised. The Wizards played extremely well. They did a really good job. Let's give credit to the bench. The bench definitely stepped up. But other than that, everybody played very well. Just real quick, same thing. There was an idiotic fan that ran on the court. I just don't get the purpose of it. Like I said, you're taking away the moment, and you got your attention for the wrong way, for all the wrong reasons. But Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal said it on Inside the NBA. If I remember, I'll leave it in the description if you want to see it. They said, it's going to continue to happen because it has happened for years, but not on this level. I think there's certain things that you don't do. And I think that's what Shaq and Chuck were missing. The Mystics play the Aces this Saturday, so definitely going to be tuned in for that game. And I did say that Up until today, yesterday afternoon, I guaranteed that they were going to snap their 13-game losing streak. They lost in extra innings. The final score was 3-2, but they won today. Yes, they won today. It was a really good game. Offense stepped up. The pitching was better. Bullpen kind of still some kinks out there, but it was a really good win. I think everyone got the monkey off their back as a sigh of relief. You see that no matter what they're going through, they're playing. They all have each other's back. So in the midst of a 14-game losing streak that was snapped, they still went out there, still played hard. Brendan High got support from other managers, so I'm very proud. Cannot wait for tomorrow as they finish up the series. But let's get into the main topic. Naomi Osaka. So Naomi Osaka is withdrawing from the French Open. Basically coming out, she's basically saying, I'm going to share my screen so you can see the tweet. There we go. Sorry about that. It really randomly lagged on my end. Okay, so I'll leave this in the description for y'all to see. Hey everyone, this isn't a situation I ever imagined or intended when I posted a few days ago. I think now the best thing for the tournament, other players, and my well-being is that I withdraw so that everyone can get back to focusing on tennis and going on to Paris. I never wanted to be a distraction, and I accept that my timing was not ideal and my message could not have been clear. More importantly, I would have never trivialized mental health or used the term lightly. The truth is that I have suffered long bouts of depression since the U.S. Open in 2018, and I've had a really hard time coping with that. Anyone that knows me, I'm introverted, and anyone that has seen me at the tournaments will notice that I'm often wearing headphones, as that helps dull my social anxiety. Though the tennis press has always been kind to me, and I want to apologize especially to all the cool journalists who I may have hurt. I am not a natural public speaker and get huge waves of anxiety before I speak to the world's media. I get nervous and find it stressful to always engage and give you the best answers I can. So here in Paris, I was already feeling vulnerable and anxious, so I thought it was better to exercise self-care and skip the press conferences. I announced it preemptively because I do feel like the rules are quite outdated in parts, and I wanted to highlight that. I wrote privately to the tournament apologizing, saying that I would be more happy to speak with them after the tournament as the slams are intense. I'm going to take some time away from the court now, but when the time is right, I really want to work with the tour to discuss ways we can make things better for players, press, and fans. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. Love you guys. I'll see you when I see you. So that was her tweet. Let me say this. She has absolutely every right to come out and let us know how she feels. She has that right. She's human. Forget for a minute she's a tennis player. She's 23, if I'm saying that correctly. Who are we to say, well, you're a tennis player or you're a basketball player, you're a football player. You should still go out there and perform. Not just even athletes. Those that work a 9 to 5. Unfortunately, at the office where I work, there are people that bring a lot of stuff with them. That old saying, you need to check all that at the door. And unfortunately, it comes with them into the room, into the building, into the parking lot. It comes with them. We have to understand this, people. No matter what you're going through, understand that there is support. I applaud her for first of all coming out and saying, dating back to 2018, that she's had long bouts of depression. Recently I just screened for mild depression. As far as from the pandemic and some other personal things that have gone on in my life, I felt like it was time to get the answers I needed. I haven't been eating right. I haven't been sleeping right. I had my good days. I had my bad days. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you've diagnosed the problem. You found out what the problem is. Let's go fix it. And she's taking time away from the court. Now, let me say this. There are some people that are going to make this argument. And this is not just with sports. This is with movies, the music industry, etc. I was watching, for example, there was a Behind the Music with Hall and Oates. And Daryl Hall came out and said, it's very hard. I'm paraphrasing it, but he's saying, like, when you go in public, when you go to a grocery store, everyone goes and goes, oh my gosh, that's Daryl Hall. Oh, can I get your autograph? Can I take a picture? Some people are not built for being in front of the cameras, being in front of millions of people. Some people aren't built for that. I don't know Naomi from a can of paint. She's the second best tennis player in the world. But who are we to sit there and go, well, you're a tennis player, just suck it up and go out there and play? Serena Williams, for example, came out and let me find that video so I can play that for y'all. And I'll leave this in the description as well. Let me share my screen. Excuse me.
Wish I could give her a hug because I know what it's like. Like I said, the only thing I feel is that I feel for Naomi. I feel like I wish I could give her a hug because I know what it's like. Like I said, I've been in those positions. We have different personalities, and people are different. Not everyone is the same. I'm thick, other people are thin. So everyone is different and everyone handles things differently. So, you just have to let her handle it the way she wants to in the best way that she thinks she can. And that's the only thing I can say. I think she's doing the best that she can. The only thing.
And she hit it right there on the head. And unfortunately, and Serena Williams is a good example of this too. When we're sitting there because everyone was like, well, is she not the same tennis player anymore? Or she lost to Naomi, she considered retirement. And again, and I've told y'all, the media is going to find ways to create these storylines, these narratives where you have examples like Naomi Osaka come out and and tell us this is what's going on. This is why I'm not participating in so and so event. Now, again, are all press like that? No. But the press are going to ask you the questions that you may find tough, that you may go, okay. For example, I'm going to give you a great example. Kyrie Irving. This is when he was with the Boston Celtics. They were getting ready to get swept by the Milwaukee Bucks. I think it was game 3. And the reporter asked, actually, I can show you better than I can tell you. right now. There you go.
You said that you'd be better in these games in Boston. You struggled in Game 3, and now in Game 4, 7 for 22. What happened?
Missed shots. Shots just didn't go in. Go out and prepare. Like I said, sometimes they're gonna go in, sometimes they aren't. They do a great job of loading too. So, making the pass
Mark James, WE have to win 3 in a
unwavering. That's
team to get by this series.
that's unwavering. That's night the third and fourth of making another.
And how mentally it's 19 for 62.
Yeah, who cares?
Here we go. This is the question.
Have you ever had a shooting stretch like this? I think it's now at this point
We go back
19
on
for
the
6 in the playoff for Boston.
Runs and it's shown.
Kyrie, Chris Gasper, Boston Globe. Have you ever had a 3-game stretch like this in the playoffs, and how mentally challenging is it?
What do you mean?
Have you ever had a shooting stretch like this? I think it's now at this point 19 for 62.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? I'm a basketball player. Prepare the right way. Like I said, it's a little different when your rhythm is challenged every play down. You're being picked up full court. They're doing things to test you, and the expectations on me are going to be sky high. And I try to utilize their aggression against them and still put my teammates in great positions while still being aggressive. I'm trying to do it all. So, for me, the 22 shots, I should have shot 30. It really not great of a shooter. So I think that just the consistency of just going at it, staying aggressive is always going to put us in a great position. Obviously, being more cautious on the turnovers, getting down the stretch when they're going on.
Okay, I don't want to get too carried on with that. But the point I was showing you in that video when he said, "Who cares?" Well, first and foremost, Kyrie, everybody that was in that damn locker room cares. Jason Tatum cares. Jaylen Brown cares. Danny Ainge, Brad Stevens, etc. The Boston Celtics care. The fans care. Like that type of attitude towards the press. That when they're asking those kind of questions, these guys feel like I'm not answering that. Now, it is part of your job as an athlete to answer questions, as long as it's not personal, as long as it's in between those lines. Hey, Patrick Mahomes, you threw 5 interceptions today. What went wrong? A journalist can't answer that question. Now, if a journalist asked a random question that was not pertaining to football or any other sport, then you have an argument. But see, the one thing that's a blessing and a curse is social media, because these guys are on it every day. For example, Kevin Durant, where he and Michael Rappaport broke the code of the street code of snitching. Why would he put that out there like that? And unfortunately, look, everybody talked about it. When these guys have a bad game, I don't want to talk to the media. Why? And unfortunately, again, as I said, you have people in the media pertaining to sports. They will create headlines just to make themselves look good. I'm gonna keep it real. If you're playing like crap, I'm gonna call it out. If you had a great game, that's fine. There are journalists that we sit there and we give all these guys the praise and all the glory. They never call on us and say, "Hey, thank you for the kind words," and tell you how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we say, "Hey, they're not doing this right, they're not doing that right," we don't know what we're talking about. Oh, we don't want to talk to us. Like when that Barry Trammell from the Oklahoma City asked Russell West, was Russ and Steven Adams. Well, again, I can show you better than I can tell you.
him going out of the game. Since that they goes to the bench, part of that, Russell went to the. Steven, second time in 3 games, you guys really struggled when Russell went to the bench. You were out there for part of that. What goes on when he goes to the bench? Why is Houston so successful? And do you sense that they sort of get an energy boost just from him going out of the game?
Hold on, Steven. I don't want nobody to try to split us up. We all one team. Regardless if I go to the bench, if Steven's on the floor, if I'm off the floor, we in this together. Don't split us up. Don't try to split us up. Don't try to make us go against each other. Try to make it against Russell and the rest of the guys. Russell against Houston. I don't want to hear that. We in this together. We playing as a team, and that's all that matters. That's it.
Yeah, Russell, I'm not trying to split you up, but twice in 3 games, you guys have not played well at all when you've gone to the bench.
That's fine.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going
say,
on.
Russell, you ain't played well at all. Say Russell and the team haven't played well. Don't say when Russell goes out, the team don't play well. It don't matter. We in this together.
That may be, Russell, but I've asked Steven a question. And it's legitimate.
Me and you. Next question.
It's a legitimate question.
Next question. Next question.
Well,
Next question.
no, I think we'll keep the microphone. I had a question for Steven, and it wasn't answered. And I don't understand if Steven wants to say he still hasn't said anything. If he wants to say I don't want to answer that, fine. But
Next question, please.
See that? Like that right there. Like that. See, he asked a legitimate question because you know what? In that series, they weren't playing well when Russell Westbrook was off the court, was on the bench. They were not playing well as a team. They got embarrassed. I believe they got one game out of that series. See, that was nothing personal. He asked him a legitimate basketball question. Hey, Steven Adams, when Russ goes on the floor, how come y'all don't play well? What's going on? Like, how come you don't make the necessary adjustments? You don't come off the pick. You're taking bad shots. Hero ball, ISO ball, etc. Again, as long as it's in between those lines, we can criticize these guys. But unfortunately, like I said, when you get personal and all this other stuff, and again, you just don't know what a lot of these guys bring in the locker room. A lot of them bring baggage. I don't know Naomi. I don't know Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant like that. I don't know them. When you look at some of the clips of Naomi, yeah, you can definitely see she suffers from social anxiety. She's very introverted. I know people that are like that. Now I know someone's going to say, well, this is what she signed up for this. This is what she expects. She has to be in front of these cameras whether she likes it or not. Naomi has the right to say, hey, I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable being interviewed right now. But unfortunately, the people are looking to you. They're seeing you as probably when Serena Williams retires as the #1 tennis player in the world. But again, there are some, and just follow me. There are some people that may not be able to handle being at the top. It may be just too much for them. Who knows? I don't know about Naomi. I don't know if she's like that. But her from taking time away from the sport of tennis to get herself together is the most important thing. But again, it's not just tennis. It's not just football. It's not just basketball, baseball, etc. It's everybody. It's all of us as humans. No matter what you're going through, you have the absolute right to seek to take time for yourself. Who in society says you can't do that? Because all these people that were getting on her and saying, well, you need to just suck it up and just be out there on the court. I guarantee you, and they won't say this, in front of a camera. They'll say this behind closed doors. Oh yeah, I want to say things that they've gone through. All these guys that you see, Kevin Love came out and said that he suffers from depression. DeMar DeRozan. They're all human people. And understand too, this has just really been the last 14 months. It's been exhausting. It's been exhausting with the pandemic. It's been exhausting being black with the social injustices. That is a recipe for just a mental breakdown for everybody, including myself, for example. Like I said, when I screened recently for mild depression, the first thing that came to my mind was the pandemic. And then other things that have transpired, me growing up from high school, and I take it back, from middle school to now. And the most important thing is seeking the help that I need to help myself be a better person for tomorrow, next year, and going forward and for the rest of my life. And that's what I applaud, and that's why I encourage you to all do it. Dak Prescott, when he came out and said, hey, this is what we're going through, and Skip Bayless, I did a video on that, where Skip Bayless told him, oh, you're a football, you are the star. You're the star of the Dallas Cowboys. How you shouldn't come out with that kind of stuff. Oh, just shut up and play football. I'm going to play a video. I'm going to play a clip. And this is basically just going to sum up my point. Basically, just close it all together. Hold on, I want to find the video because I know it's long, and I'll probably just leave I'll leave the rest of it in the description for you. I'm trying to get to the point. I'm trying to show what the port with Stephen A. I found it.
They're saying, I don't feel like honoring my obligation. And they can't tolerate that. Now, if you acknowledge what she acknowledged, now we have a different ballgame because you've publicized it, you've acknowledged it, and now it's calling upon them to have a heightened level of sensitivity. That's one point. The other point, when you talked about depression, anxiety, that is an illness. Well, you're right. The problem is sometimes even you don't know it. Like, I didn't know. My family had to you kind of volatile.
Yeah.
You're not right. Something's not. Look at you on TV. Look at you when you walk in the street. You ready for anything. What's wrong with you? They had to tell me because to me, I was numb. Nothing mattered. Nothing mattered other than my daughters. Nothing. I didn't give a damn whether I lived or died. It didn't matter to me because the greatest human being I have ever known in my life was gone. And so for me, it was like I had to deal with that. I had to channel that in and I had to remember there are people that love me, that I love, that I'm hurting them just by being around them because they see an emptiness. I was gone. And so when you know that you're dealing with something, when you don't know that you're dealing with something like that, it harkens me back, Max, to Muhammad Ali.
I just wanted to make a quick point. He in this tape, and I didn't know this. It was 4 years since his mom passed away, and you could really see. That was hard for him to really to talk about that, but I applaud his strength. So I'm going to continue to play the rest.
Why do I bring up Muhammad Ali? Because when we talk about these great athletes, unfortunately, fair or not, in the eyes of fans, it's not just what you can do physically. It's what you can overcome and endure mentally, emotionally, etc. So when they look at you and they hear that you're going through something, In today's generation, there's a level of compassion that we have because we're more educated, more informed, more edified. But back before then,
I agree with that point, but I disagree with that point. I'll get to that in a second.
when we weren't as educated about that, there was a significant level of insensitivity that we all harbored. And we said, hell, everybody got to go through something, figure out a way. And you still have people that deal with that today. The difference is when you walk outside the athletic world and you're sitting on television, for example, or you're doing whatever you do, and you go through such a devastating loss. I will never get over, ever, the loss of Janet Smith. Every single day, I am miserable at some point. But because of the loved ones and the support, I can move ahead. And Naomi Osaka and everybody in this world like her that's suffering from mental health issues, they all move forward and survive because there's people that hug them figuratively and literally and say, we here, we get it. And that's the difference between now and what was going on in the past.
Let me just say this quickly. So if you're wondering why I was getting so emotional during that conversation, it's not just because of what you went through, Stephen A. and Max. I know you went through a very challenging time. We've lost, it's not a secret. My husband works here and we've lost 5 people in my family this year. And I know what kind of pain he's in. And I know it's very similar to what you're doing. And to feel like you can't support the person and to feel shut out and wanting to do everything and seeing them hurting. So that's why I'm here. So I apologize to my family. I'm sorry that came out on national television, but it's real.
Dealing with a lot.
It's life, and it's
And
been,
Jalen comes to work every day.
Yeah.
and it's
and
been
works through
a
it.
really hard couple years, and he really does. And so you're lucky to have amazing people in your inner circle that encouraged you to do that, and I'm glad that you got the help. And
But Jalen's lucky to have you. I watch Jalen all the time because I'm watching him. And I know I don't have to say a word to him. I know what that brother is going through.
It's unreal. And these are acute, these are examples of acute trauma, right? There's an event that causes trauma and emotional pain. Some people are dealing with general depression or anxiety. And Stephen A. touched on it earlier. He wasn't even aware he was going through it at first, even with an event, right? So physical injury, people understand, I hurt right here. But mental anxiety, emotional trauma, sometimes you're really not aware of it the same way. So that's the importance of Naomi shining a light on it. This shows the importance of that because she's aware of it and she's acting on it as though it's something that happened to her on the court, as though it's a physical injury. It's an emotional and mental issue she has to deal with.
But it's not, and to add on to that, it's not just Naomi. It's other athletes and it's other people that have come out and have spoken out about what has gone on in their lives. You know, again, as I said in that introduction, I have a small group, I have a small circle of people that I'm comfortable going to when there's a problem. There's family and friends that I don't trust that I can't go to when I'm going through something. And these past couple years, one particular friend reached out to me and said, you know, you haven't been the same the last couple years. And he pointed out to me, you know, your post, your attitude, your demeanor, your X, Y, and Z. What's going on? And there have been numerous times where me and him have had numerous heart-to-heart conversations because that one person is the one that can help you to get you the help they need. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know. These last couple years have been hard, but I have persevered. At the end of the day, the goal is we have to persevere to be better in life. Listen, I started going to church. It was 3 years this month. Before I started going to church, there was a time where I was in a place where I was not Nathan Snell. I was somebody else. And I had to, and I believe this, I believe it was God himself that woke me up and brought me to reality and said, listen, this is what's going to happen if you don't get yourself together. And if it wasn't for that phone call that particular Sunday out to a family member, to my uncle, I don't know where Nathan would be today if I didn't take that step. But just because going to church and praying to God every day, yes, that's a good thing. And I thank God every day that I'm allowed to see another day. But the most important is seeking the help that I need to be a better Nathan, as I stated, for today, tomorrow, next month, next year, and so forth. That's why I encourage each and every one of you to do. Stephen A., Molly Karam, all of them. We are all human. We are all human. We as the world are human. I'm not sure if y'all have been paying attention, but everyone around this world globally with this pandemic has lost loved ones. Think of the trauma. Think of the fact when they wake up every day, they go, that loved one's not there. Think of last year with Thanksgiving and Christmas. That loved one, that was an empty seat. That was an empty, was one less family member at a gathering, open presents. The funerals in India where they had to cremate loved ones in the middle in the streets. So who are we as a society to tell people like Naomi Osaka, oh, deal with it, get in front of the press, answer the questions, go out there and play tennis? It's like just because they make a certain amount of money, they're human. They go home to loved ones too. Kevin Love, Dak Prescott, DeMar DeRozan, multiple examples. When they don't, when they're done playing their sport, they go home to a wife, husband, they go home to kids. Naomi Osaka is just another example of why it's an important, it's time we start having this discussion about mental health. It's time we have a discussion. And that's why I encourage you. This is the National Mental Health Hotline. If you're going through, so you just need a resource, here's the number. Give them a call. And also too, suicide prevention. Let's make tomorrow a better day. Let's make the world a better place. Let's start helping one another. Let's start helping others persevere and push through the pain, the misery, all this stuff that what Naomi Osaka goes through, Stephen A. Smith goes through, Kevin Love, Nathan Snell, we all go through as humans. Let's start channeling some of this energy into helping and making sure there's resources for everybody that goes through this every fucking day. I wish Naomi nothing but the best. I know she's going to be be back on that tennis court, but I applaud her for taking a step back and saying, this is what's going on. I got to take some time for myself. And again, let this be a wake-up call for everybody. So with that being said, I really tried to really hold back the tears in this video. I really held strong because it's hard for me sometimes to really say what I feel to certain friends and family. It's hard to express that because there's half of them I don't like and half of them I don't trust. And with her coming out and essentially saying, hey, this is what's been going on with me for the last few years, I think this is a good opportunity, again, for us, all of us, to do some soul searching, to be better people, to seek the help that we need. So that's why I encourage you, never let society tell you that no matter what you're going through, you should just keep it closeted. Don't say anything. Talk to somebody. Again, here are the numbers. Reach out. There are helping hands. Because I'm telling you, when it may not be easy in the beginning, but when you take that first step in realizing there's a problem, and you take that first step in getting the help you need, so many doors open. That's so much stuff off your chest. There's a realization, I made the right decision. So unfortunately, we've seen people lose their lives because to different things that we just don't know that what they've gone through. Robin Williams is a good example. But it's time, as not just athletes, not just musicians, all of us as the global community, as a people, as one, we have to come together and we have to help each other out. We have to find the resources to help each and every one of us to, if not just one day at a time, just get through the obstacles and understand that there's somebody in your corner that's there for you. Now, it was sad to hear when he said, Stephen A. in that clip, where he said he will never, ever be the same because his mom passed away. Now, with these last couple years, what's going on in my life, I don't know. Well, I'm not going to be in the same boat as him, but I know that at some point I have to not hold on to it. At some point I have to let it go. Because what is me holding on to it now? It's not going to make me better. It's just going to make me more worse than before. The biggest thing that I've took is the power of prayer, reading the Bible, and just taking it one day at a time. Karl Anthony Towns, after his mom passed away, when they asked, well, how you think? He said, I just take it one day at a time. That's how I approach every day. I just take it one day at a time. Like I said, there are good days, there are bad days. And when, again, I applaud her. I really do. We just need more people like that. And like I said, I'm going to leave these links in the description for y'all. Actually, let me do that right now. Um, and the amount of support that she got from other athletes lets you know that that it's okay. They have her back. Now, my hope, I would like that $15,000 to go to a organization that helps with mental health. I would like to see a lot of these leagues, NBA, football, baseball, do something for guys like this. There was a baseball player, Drew Robinson, tried to commit suicide and lost an eye. The resources that Major League Baseball could be using to help him get through whatever he was going through, particularly through the pandemic. And for those that are just saying, well, you're a football player, you're a basketball player. What do you have to feel sad about? Are the same exact people that won't admit it in front of your face, but will admit it behind closed doors. They go through something. Because who in the hell are they to tell Naomi Osaka, Kevin Durant, Russell Wilson, Mike Trout, or Adam Jones, baseball player, that they can't come out and say what they feel? And Naomi Osaka, you just look at those clips, you feel for it. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, I'll be sure to give it a thumbs up. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts, how you feel. But we, let's use let's Snell as a global community. Let's strive to do better. Let's start having this conversation about mental health, because you don't know what a person is going through until you see it for yourself. You just don't know what that person goes through. So, hey, sending that text message, hey, making that phone call, or hey, let's go out. Let's have a lunch. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's start doing that. Because again, there are people that we know and love. They go home and they take that mask off. You just don't know what a person goes through until you really understand, until you really, really understand what they're going through. Be well, stay safe. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Please share it. If you also enjoyed the video, consider hitting that subscribe button along with the notification bells on. Until next time, I'm out. Peace. Stay up. Be blessed.